Make humanity sacred again. What does it mean to be in ceremony with the sacred that I am? It means to know myself, to recognize my essence in the totality that is life. It means to breathe in the air and cherish that breath. To inhale its love for my existence and to exhale my gratitude for it. It means to honor my body, the flesh that houses my essence, the same way that I honor my essence. It means to honor my essence, my divinity, my sacredness. It means to remember, since most of us seem to have forgotten. Alignment with the all that is in existence is our birthright. All other living beings know this on a molecular level, quantum even. They don't get lost in the meaninglessness of things. They don't get confused by stories of money, power, and other such egotistical ideologies. They don't live to sustain a mythological system. They live to be sustained. They live in the environment that has supported them for generations. They live in peace with all that is, the beauty, the grace, the loss, the darkness. They live knowing, without thinking, they are a spiritual entity. They just be. They follow their instincts around the globe, borderless. They do as their bodies demand, as generations have done so before them, trusting the process, knowing life begets more life. Gaia does not need proof of her sacredness. She just knows. The water inside her just flows. The fire warms and the air sustains. The earth, life, it grows. Everything around us is aligned. Everything around us is connected to spirit. Everything around us is spirit. They all know the ultimate truth of living. We are spirit manifested. We are the ones who have cherished notions of civilization and denigrated spirit. We are the ones who have denied ourselves the greatest honor of knowing ourselves as a unique aspect of the greater whole, never separate from. Desperately though we have tried, and desperately though we cling on the ideology, right and wrong, my God, my way. Never could we imagine the way of those savages we genocided against knew something we don't know. Never could we imagine, because we had already distanced ourselves from the earth and our spirit, buying into our egos God-like behaviors. But being egotistically God-like does not make one God. God is the force that animates all living on all planes, in all timelines, in all existences, forever, infinitely. God is what we are, individually and collectively. God having an experience of itself. It is only when we forget that we begin to act God-like with the anthropomorphized versions of divinity. That is how we desecrate the sacred. We let the intellect run wild. We told it its boss. It is worshipped and everything else devoured. A disembodied existence that pretends it knows. No wonder we're living in the most depressed, most desperate times on the planet. No wonder the pain is unfathomable. Addiction has become endemic. Desperate desire for connection, pathologized, medicalized. Escape from the treacherous pretend reality we have created and continue to sustain because we don't know how else to live. Literally, we are creating escape through virtual reality, our bodies screaming. Instead of finally admitting, we got it wrong. This version of civilization got it all wrong. As a metaphor, in patriarchal ideology, we expect the colonizer, abuser, taker, destroyer of another's home, culture, and way of life to recognize and legitimize a tribe so that they may have a voice in the system that stole their ancestral lands and intentionally tried to wipe them out in the first place. The inhumanity of genocide still left unrecognized. Waters intentionally polluted. How profoundly disrespectful, inhumane, unkind. How profoundly disgusting a notion that the abuser has absolute power over the abused. And the rest of us just play nice, turn the other cheek, and keep replicating, keep legitimizing those systems, replicating the hideous lie in the form of a mantra, it's the best we've got. What a hot, giant pile of steaming shit. Collective Stockholm Syndrome on steroids. Yet, we're convinced it's real, because the foundation of modernity is cultureless. It is an escapist tendency gone wrong, because we don't know what ancestral culture is. We have forgotten. We came to these lands as refugees in ships, leaving behind hunger and despair, leaving behind not only our homeland, but our sense of community, culture, and self. We hope we'd left our past behind. We came into these foreign lands, called them ours, and took over. We failed to notice these lands sustained immense life before we colonized them. History does not start with our colonizing. These waters were free-flowing before the dams were put in to control them. These forests were luscious, full of life before we turned them into cookie-cutter suburbs. These people had established an intergenerational way of life here before we brutalized them and declared them savages. And now, leaving them waterless, voiceless, worthless. In our desire to escape, to create a new world, we are devouring ourselves like a snake chasing after its own tail. Yes, tail. In our fear of death, we have put our species in hospice care, desperately still grasping to hang on to power and control, not realizing that that too is an illusion. Everything in life is a metaphor. Just look around. What do you see? Is this really the best you believe is to be expected of humanity? Here's the most critical truth we will likely never recover from in this timeline. We are the civilization of the lost people. The only way to heal, and it is a choice, is to make humanity sacred again.